All right, triangle congruence in geometry. You guys are going to do so much triangle congruence. It's a huge thing. A little bit of notation to start us off. This symbol is a triangle. It means triangle. No kidding. So triangle ABC refers to triangle ABC. Triangles are named based on their angles, and we usually put it in alphabetical order, right? This one, triangle DEF. There we go. This congruent symbol is sort of similar to an equal sign, but we use congruent for shapes. We use equal sign for numbers and actual values, right? Cool, so triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. That's what this thing says. And here are our two triangles. What do we know based on this? Well, when we describe two congruent triangles, we're going to also name them, right? This is just fun facts. You don't have to remember this forever, right? You'll learn it some more later on. But we do name them such that the letters kind of match up in a way, right? So this first letter A and this first letter D, that tells us that the angle A is congruent to the angle D. And we are going to mark those off with this little sort of curvy mark. In geometry, by the way, super useful to have like 27 different colors of colored pencils. You will use it a lot. It's very helpful. It's much better than trying to do little tick marks, which you'll get introduced to at some point. But the colors, it looks more fun. And you have it's a lot easier to have more colors. It's a lot harder to have like 27 tick marks on an angle, right? So just words of wisdom for the future. All right, so A is congruent to D. B is our second letter. That's going to be congruent to E over here. And then C, that's our third letter, congruent to F, also the third letter, right? So those last letters there, and we're going to mark those like that. We always want to use different colors. Why? Because F is not congruent to E, F is congruent to C. And you can clearly see that with the colors. A is congruent to D, but A is not congruent to F or E, right? That's not how it works. So the colors will let you know. All right, furthermore, we can tell something about the sides, all right? So this comes out over here too, but we'll just get into this. So AC is going to be congruent to DF, right? EF congruent to BC, and AB congruent to DE. So that looks a little something like this. We got this one, BC, EF. You can just highlight the whole thing in a particular color. So you can also use highlighters in geometry if you'd like. AC, DF, right? There we go. And then AB, DE. Those are congruent. So the corresponding, this is a little bit of vocabulary for you, we call those corresponding parts. But when you see something like this, it doesn't just mean that every single angle is congruent to every other angle. This isn't an equilateral triangle. AD is congruent to, angle A is congruent to angle D. Not any other angles. Line AC, line segment AC is congruent to line segment DF or side DF, right? It is not congruent to side AB or DE. It's not congruent to those. So we got to make sure that we're matching up the parts of the triangle correctly. How are you going to use this? At some point, you're going to be told, hey, E equals 6. What do you think angle B equals? Well, gee, I guess it equals 6, right? So 6 degrees. Obviously, that's not 6 degrees there, but I'm just making up numbers. Line segment DE is 17. What do you think line segment AB equals? Something like that. And later on, we're going to get into having equations and all kinds of, monomials, polynomials up in here, and you're going to do all your standard stuff, right? So, ready, set, practice.